Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike once again.
Another happy Mike. You rode your bike again.
I did. I had to.
That's
Why not?
that's two shows in a row you rode your bike.
Well, there's all this damn traffic that's going out,
Yeah, I know.
out here with this road construction and pulling the water mains and everything. There's no way I was going to be able to
Well, it's summertime.
park the truck out front here.
And that's what we have here, winter and construction.
That's what it is.
That's right.
You know, I can't complain though. You know,
No, why should you?
everything looks better on the back of a Harley, right?
That's right, it does. It does. Definitely. So who we got with us today?
Who do we have with us today?
We got Half-Life
have-
Crisis.
So is Half-Life Crisis, are we calling this a project? Are we calling this a band? It's more of a project that you have
It's
going
a
on.
project with the potential to be. It's a project with the potential to become a band when the time is right. I spent a lot of time wearing every hat and making the wrong choices as an alcoholic, and I had to put that behind me to actually realize, instead of being the bassist and terrible agent I was, that I wanted to focus on being known as a guitarist, producer, and yeah, that's the goal. Being known as a musician and producer. Just got a lot of work to do, but a lot of interesting things are making that more of a reality every day.
So what's the revelation that happened that caused you to well, actually, let's go back before that. You said you were a bass player and stuff. So you were obviously playing with bands and everything.
Yeah.
Doing that for a little while. Tell us a little bit about that experience and that background.
For sure. Okay. As far as relevant bands, I mean, I started off in an alternative kind of metal-esque band called Dark Arch back in high school. I was in a band called Born of Ash for a brief period of time, maybe a year. We played a hot dog stand, nothing of any significance. And we had one garage show. So,
And this is while you were in high school.
this was just high school was Dark Arch, and then Born of Ash was 2012, and it was short lived, ultimately a waste of time. I mean, I learned from it, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Fast forward, I was in Dear Deadly and played the Forge, which is across the street, as you know, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I was based in that. I was, and I left off a whole year and a half. There was a time I was doing double duty for an alternative band called Downfall of Society and the Reverb Nation days, if you remember that, like right before the advent of Spotify.
It's still going strong. The last band we had in here, they are so dependent upon Reverb Nation. Everything that they do, and this was a band that has been touring since the 80s. They've opened up for every hair metal band, and I mean, they were just talking about to us about how they opened up for Tesla and Dokken and Yngwie Malmsteen, and they use Reverb Nation to get their stuff out there. I mean, it's
That
still
was
relevant.
Cutlass episode 208.
Yeah, it was.
I might look into that because I'm looking for innovative ways. I handle all the marketing, everything myself. I'm fortunately here with my friend and at this point colleague Kyle, viral YouTuber, who has been taking the load off of me as far as content.
Right.
I just don't like. And I admit the problem was probably me in the past with bands because I was drinking and just hard to deal with, for lack of a better term. But I feel like because of all that wasted time, it's on me to make it on my own. And frankly, there's plans of like doing a mini tour at some point. He would likely be the drummer, Kyle.
Okay.
I have a tentative band of people who know I have no set timeline, but if I hit them up and they're free, they might be a band. You know what I'm saying?
Judging from the names of the bands that you mentioned, it sounds like I'm just taking a wild stab. Some dark, like industrial type metal stuff that you guys were playing into.
Dear Deadly was closer to like Bullet for My Valentine sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, sure, right.
The singer passed of AIDS in the past year, which is crazy as news ever. Very talented individual.
Yeah. That's actually almost shocking because it's not publicized anymore. Wow, that's terrible.
This is dumb, but like I literally didn't believe that was a real thing. As dumb as that sounds, I don't trust the government. I never met a soul with AIDS. I know Freddie Mercury had it, and then all of a sudden, 3 people are affected by it in a year that I met. It's weird.
Yeah,
but good they got it treatable.
Right.
I don't discredit it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're both significantly older than you are. The AIDS epidemic was kind of like. Well, it was kind of like the COVID thing. But for us, it was, it's like, but people our age have experienced this before. Let's just put it this way. And it was AIDS. Everybody freaked out. Mm-hmm. And then, it went away. And so when you hear about, when I hear something like, he just died of AIDS last year, I was like, oh my gosh. Cause I haven't heard of that in probably a decade or two.
Right.
What I'm saying.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was at one point every day you're hearing somebody's gone.
Yeah. Well, God rest him. We don't want to, talk ill about anybody, but that's surprising.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Okay. Did that have an effect on you? Yeah.
I was like in the throes of depression, which derailed my music. Can I just say an aside, the name Half-Life Crisis, I don't know what it started to mean. I was constantly drunk on stimulants, stoned all the time. And like, I had this ploy, I'm just going to leave it brief, where like I had a loose connection to Motley Crue. So I figured since the whiskey was free, like open on my birthday, I was going to try to use that connection to get Motley Crue there. Cause that's logical, right? In a drunk mind, all the pills.
Right.
See, half-life, it's come to mean like the half-life of pills. Okay. I spent 19 months agoraphobic, gave up on music, on life. I somehow was working 2 jobs and then relapsed.
Said agoraphobic?
Oh, yeah. Scared to leave the house, man.
Really?
Oh, you couldn't tell now, but like back then, it was, I couldn't even listen to music in that period. So it's like the half-life of these medications, the time that it stays in your system, right? It's like, okay, you're in a crisis and you need an antidepressant. Now you're more depressed. And like the half-life of that being in your system, just progressively worsening it,
Right.
Mental health. I mean, if you need help, get it. That's all I can say. It's like a hell of a journey, but like it's worth it when you find the right cocktail. I think I'm in the clear finally.
Right. Wow. So music, is it fair to say music is a way of healing? It's medicine to you?
In that period, no, but like since, yes, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I just wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, man. Sure. I canceled obligations. I was hosting a show once where I, as the promoter, didn't even show up because of the depression. I was sitting at home drinking myself stupid,
Right. Coming
up soon, it's 2 years without it.
Right.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's good. We applaud that for sure. Yeah. And hopefully you found a path forward.
Seemingly.
Yeah. That's good. Tell us about this loose connection to Motley Crue. I know people would be interested in that.
You guys might be familiar with Player's Guitar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Going there tomorrow with him. I'm actually giving him lessons, which is very new to me. Never taught anybody. So I just don't know theory. I just didn't think I'd be doing him a service, But Mike from Player's Guitar, he knows Nikki Sixx very well. He used to joke when I was a bassist, why are you playing the tool of ignorance? Nikki Sixx gives can we swear on this?
Sure.
I'm trying to be mindful. I'm trying to censor myself more.
It's on the internet.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, so Nikki Sixx gave the dude a fucking model of a bass that was like going to be a custom series and like eventually became one, but it was before it hit the market. He ends up picking up the damn thing and calling it the tool of excellence and starting Motley 2. And I'm wearing the pick for that band that I got off the street of Bourbon. I'm tangenting here. I'm sorry. The loose connection was thinking that since he was friends with him because of what I just said, they had that rapport that I could somehow like convince them to just play a show for my birthday because I suffered through 3 shows when Vince wasn't in good form. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fan. My first band I didn't mention was The Lost Souls.
Okay.
Right. Which was a Motley Crue tribute band that you couldn't tell because the name made no sense. They don't have a song called The Lost Souls. Right. But the bassist, who's literally responsible for me being with my fiance, thought he was Nikki Sixx back in the day, would always do heroin and tease his hair, looked the part, but like it went nowhere.
Right.
Motley Crue's also why I'm this messed up because of that book, The Dirt.
Oh, wow.
Life changing.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the movie too?
Many times.
My only regret about that movie is they got Machine Gun Kelly to play Tommy Lee.
You don't want to have this conversation with me, man. I respect MGK. I'll defend that fucker till like.
I just didn't think he portrayed him properly. I don't know.
It's a big. I was looking at it as I don't know.
And I guess
it was passable.
I'll tell you, I guess what I'm comparing it to, because if you remember at the approximately the same time, there was that show. I think it was on Netflix or maybe in Hulu. It was what was it called? It was their names. I think it was called Pamela and Tommy.
Where Tommy Lee's dick was a claymation.
Was a claymation, prosthetic on there.
Seth Rogen was in there too.
But the actor that played Tommy Lee in that movie was amazing.
I mean, met Tommy Lee, scared the shit out of him at our house. I swear to God, dude, I just got backstage. My boys were opening. He was doing a DJ set. And I, knowing his books from being a kid and reading Tommy Lee, hey, it's paparazzi. What do? I'm back there with two guys stoned as shit. I'm like, Tommy fucking Lee. And then he was like this. He gave me the courtesy of a handshake and just kept walking.
He literally put his hands over.
Yeah, and then Stephen Brower told me to get the fuck out of there.
Wow.
So.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. So Tommy literally like covered his face.
Yeah, but he literally hates paparazzi, and everything about how I conveyed myself was just some fanboy asshole. And it's like, I should have just been like, hey man, good set.
Oh yeah.
Or like, go back to your band because you shouldn't DJ. But like, no, he's trying. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You guys are like, whoa, man, no, like, go on. I'm sorry.
No, that's no,
I'm sorry.
No. I was just imagining Tommy Lee, like he was covering up like this, but what he was doing was more like in case there's cameras around. Yeah.
I didn't even think. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't covering like he felt he needed to defend himself. He was, cameras might be around. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your music. That's what I'm interested in.
For sure. I call it genre fluid jams. I've been rolling with this. I don't know how long that's going to be the case because I encompass what I do is I collab with my friends and their style. I was scared to be a singer for a long time. So I found it easier for the first couple of releases to get, for example, Wayne Wigginton from Saint Tragedy based in Kenosha. She's the vocalist on an alternative metal song called Oblivious from my old band. It was the first song I ever wrote that came out in 2020. The song that preceded that was written at Eminem's old mansion in a place that like he still uses as his party mansion. Like I took a picture in front of this place, posted it. The owner wasn't in it. The cops were there. It's that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Security. So I put out that song, Catching Lightning. In fact, it was literally inspired by Jesse from 10 years. When I was working at the Forge as like a stagehand, more or less, I was on an errand with him to get a bus part for his tour bus. And he told me to make it in the music industry, you have to catch lightning in a bottle. So I told my friend Jason Kluss, who's the artist that goes by Schizo Friendly artistically. I told him this concept of like, yo, this guy said this. So he came up with the singer of the band 10 years said to me something I didn't know. 2 weeks ago, they played the Forge and I told him, got his phone number is the craziest shit. I just wanted to get that off my chest. 7 years ago, you inspired the song, you know? So that, but like what the music is, that is a pop song. And there's a rapper on there that was just hanging out in the studio, was smoking me up. He's like, can I be on this song? And I'm like, sure.
Wow.
You know, and in that moment, I don't know if you guys know Tony Baker and the Broken Robots. They're doing really big things. They'd be a great guest, just throwing that out there. He said to me, I'm just sitting there looking at him, like probably wasting his time in the studio being a space cadet. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I want you to produce. So in that moment, it clicked what producer means. It was just a term that I was aware of, but like aloof to the actual meaning, right? And it just clicked. And by bringing house in, that's being a producer. And my approach to producing that is, I'm a session musician too. So it's like, I try to get the best sound out of the product, trying to take on clients. Hopefully we'll have some by the time this airs, you know?
Right.
I had a few bad engineers mess plans up, but, and then anyways, the other songs, I just put out a rap rock song, which I admittedly should have done a better car test on. I had to rebrand it as a demo. According to my producer, always get radio quality. Like that was actually embarrassing. I'll admit. I have a blues rock song coming out soon. By the time this airs, it should be out. Recording it. What is it? August 31st with Joe Brunker of Primal Moon, and we just decided.
I know Joe.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, good guy. Okay.
He just cut my grass the other day.
Oh, did he really?
It was over. Like we were writing this song and I had to stop him with a bong that said, stop.
Yeah.
Like you've done enough, bro. It's humbling to be honest. Cause that dude's done so much more musically than me. There's a collab down the line when I can afford to. That's the biggest problem. If I could be in the studio 24/7, I would be. I just can't afford it right now.
Right.
I just got a very good position that should change that soon. And I will be collabing with MC Lars. I don't know if you're familiar with that name.
I've heard
his music got me through where depression had a shitty job, man. Like 10 years ago, this song, look it up, 3 million streams and some change, you know. He was freestyling on Facebook one day. And I just commented, hey, dude, we should collab. And then long story short, he freestyled his email address and typed it in for me.
Wow.
And then for 3 years, lack of funds, right? Starving artists, bullshit, you know? It's going to happen as soon as it can happen.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
You seem to have,
like different genres.
You seem to have, I guess a pretty large knowledge of different types of music, different types of genres in the whole, but you're not really pigeonholing yourself into one specific genre. You also have, I'm hearing you, and you've mentioned several like near brushes with fame or near brushes with stardom, and I have a feeling there's probably more than what we've actually just talked about. And I'm curious as to how did you find yourself in that situation? Was it a case of being in the right place at the right time, or who do you know who helped you out to get to that point?
I guess it's just a culmination of knowing music is all that I meant to do and just failing a lot. Yeah. You know?
Well, how did the failing introduce you to all of these people that you're talking about?
The Forge is a prime example of realizing that national bands come to these small venues sometimes and they're reachable by just going. I don't want to give away a secret that everybody knows. If you want to meet the band at the Forge, you just go to the side after fucking sound check, you know?
Right.
Almost, he talked me out of damaging my reputation with the Forge just for a selfie with Sebastian Bach a few days ago. I got Slave to the Grind tattooed right here, you know? I had to Google myself to find out Skid Row fucking shared that. 8 months later, the actual band without Sebastian Bach did.
Right.
I just wanted to just like, hey, dude, like, I cover your song. Like, I've seen you live. You're a huge inspiration. And then I'd be whatever, man, you know?
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, it's like, get the hell out of here. We're calling the cops. Or
no, security approached and they saw me scouting it out because I was just trying to time it where I didn't waste his time at all, where I simply said, hey, man, I want a selfie. And by the way, I got a TED, just something like I understand people on that caliber's time is valuable.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know, there's two sides to that coin though, because we talk about this on the show here all the time. There are some people that you meet and you think you just made you think you just met a living saint. They're so gracious. They're so nice. You know, the last people that we talked about were in here talking about how nice and hospitable the members of Tesla were, you know, about Frankie Hannon pulled out his entire guitar collection and started talking about his, what's that?
That's their guitarist.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to cut you off. People don't talk about Tesla enough, man.
Oh, I know.
Don't he rock me? I'm not joking. It's probably the best solo I've ever heard in my life. That's Tesla, but nobody says Tesla's not the best. It's Eddie Van Halen.
We could do an entire podcast just with getting guys in here and talking about Tesla because it every time I mention the name Tesla, something like this happens. We go off on a tangent. They don't get the credit that they deserve. But
there's Jackal.
Oh yeah, no, not and those guys are great too. Believe me, we
big Jackal fan here.
Talked earlier. Yeah, I ride a Harley. I go to a lot of bike rallies and stuff, and Jackal is always involved with different bike rallies, and they're riding and hanging out with everybody and drinking a couple of beers, and then they get up on stage and rock the place, and they finish and they get back down and they're just hanging out with. They got no security around them, no nothing.
Nope.
They're just regular guys that just hang out with people. Those are the great people that you want to meet, and then you hear stories about you know Sebastian Bach kind of has
Bach
that.
Was like that, you know, that he'd be just like,
oh, he's kind of got that reputation.
And walked in, and I was in the green room 2 seconds, like every other time I'm at the fucking Forge.
Yeah. Now Sebastian Bach kind of has that reputation. He's kind of got that diva reputation, so it doesn't surprise me that you had that experience with him. I guess don't take it personal. I guess is the takeaway from that.
Nothing personal, man. That's why it's cutthroat.
Yeah, but when you see, you know, from his standpoint, though, I mean, this is your one night you're going back there to try to meet him, and he has this every fucking night, everywhere he goes, and you know that gets old. Like, it really gets old. I just want to do my stuff, come back and relax, and get the hell out of here. That's all I want. It's a job. It becomes a job.
Yeah. It does, and it can absolutely it can. So I'm interested. I'm ready to hear some music.
Alrighty,
I think that's what we should do.
Why don't we take a short break and we'll be right back. Awesome. Be right back. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
I'm Christy from Crime Cave Podcast. I've had a huge interest in true crime since my days of watching marathons of Snapped back in the mid-90s. I needed an outlet to talk about the cases that have haunted me for a very long time. With each episode under 20 minutes, I shine a light on some of the most bizarre cases in the last 50 years. Join me in the Crime Cave.
Hi, I'm Rick Anthony. I'd like to thank my radio brothers, Ray the Roadie and Hollywood Mike, for allowing me to tell you about my podcast, the Someone You Should Know podcast. We spotlight musicians, authors, and interesting people, and we like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. The podcast is heard twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can check it out on your favorite streaming platforms and on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. That's the Someone You Should Know podcast with me, Rick Anthony. Making a difference, one artist at a time.
Rock and roll, Chicago.
Hey, it's Ray and Mike, and we got some great information for you.
Yeah, we just wanted to remind you about the fundraiser for the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, which is taking place on October 27th at the Renaissance Center in downtown Joliet.
You'll be able to get tickets at Cadillac Groove shows. If you see Mike or myself somewhere, we'll have tickets. You can get them at the museum. They're only $5.
Also, at CadillacGroove.com, you will be able to purchase them online as well.
Very good.
They're going to cost you $5 a ticket. There's going to be a $10 cover charge to get in the day of the event. And for your $10, we will give you 2 more additional tickets, as well as some Cadillac Groove swag. And the lucky grand prize winner will win the band Cadillac Groove.
And winner must be present to win. So remember that.
And Cadillac Groove will play for whatever event it is that you would like for us to play for. You know, conditions do apply.
That's true.
We do have
so
to
get
say
out
that.
there and get your tickets right away. And for the first time tonight, Wes Jaffray of Half-Life Crisis.
Oh, the floor is mine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, depending on how time allots, I'm going to start with a cover that was like the first song somebody ever showed me on an acoustic, and then I started singing, so I figured why not sing it. It's an Alice in Chains song. You probably know it. So this is Nutshell. And out of that. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I will use this disclaimer, singing is not something I want to be known for, but as somebody doing it all by yourself,
Yeah.
What option do I have?
Well, it wasn't something like that. It was like that. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm nervous as hell singing, dude. I hate it. I'll be completely honest with you. Not a lot of things scare me, but that does. So.
Well, you got to work. You're working through it. You seem to be doing fine. Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
I started going to Johnny Blitz in like 2021.
Really? Johnny Blitz, huh? Wow. And that because they're primarily a blues club now. Were you going there just to hang out?
It was an open mic. I don't know if you know BCA. Brian.
Oh, of course I do.
Me and him were just on my new boat that my mentor who called the cops on me and this gentleman a few days ago, there's a viral YouTube video now.
Right.
He gave me a boat. During my lunch break, we went out and did a photo shoot.
That was the funny part.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't expect to get the cops called on us. Like, the cops just came because of my camera. Sorry.
Okay, now that you inserted yourself, why don't you talk about what you do really quick?
Oh, well, I'm a YouTuber. Nice to meet you guys. My name is Kyle. Sorry.
Where'd that voice?
Where's that voice? He's been mentioning my name this whole time, and you guys been seeing a guy randomly in the room. You guys, who the hell is the guy? So yes, my name is Kyle.
I thought you were our ghost.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
this place is haunted.
Yeah. I heard some things. Yeah. But yes, my name is Kyle. I'm a YouTuber. I have like 30,000 subscribers, and my friend Wes, he actually is a very good mentor. He actually showed me a lot of connections in the music industry that I wouldn't have expected to encounter at this such a young age, because I am only 22. I'm about to be 23 in September, so it's quite a drastic change to see a point of view of everybody's minds collectively in the music industry.
Mm-hmm. So. Sure is. So what was the story about the boat?
Just me and BCA went out on a boat, took a few pictures today.
Yeah. I know him. He used to come out regularly to a jam that I host on Sunday evenings. He used to come out pretty regularly. I played with him many times.
He's the shit.
Yeah.
So like Johnny Blitz, I went up and I did What I Got by Sublime. I don't do that anymore because Mel Flowers said I sound angry when I do it. If you know her,
I know Mel very well.
She's my producer now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we worked together with Magoo's recently. I was the event coordinator.
I love Mel. That's a great group.
Mel was the bartender on Sundays when I hosted the jam over there at the studio in Lockport.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I know Mel. Say hi to her. I haven't seen her in a while.
Hi, Mel. Are you going to watch the podcast? Hi, Mel. Hi.
Yeah. So there was a boat story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a boat story.
So like me and Kyle, get back here, Kyle.
Hold on. First he tells me to go away, and now he wants me back. Make up your mind, Wes. Come on.
It's like I don't have
it's like an ex-wife.
If I did, you were in the band,
whatever, and then she comes back.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm saying I don't like bands, but as I already disclosed, if I had one, you'd be in it. So I really don't give that much of a
Well, of course.
talk,
yeah.
know?
No, I get it. No, you already said I was going to be your drummer. So without even me saying, yeah, he just said, you're hired.
See, when I was hosting an open mic at Magoo's, this fucker was on the stage making me wait to start it. He had a
Did he want the sound of the drums good?
Yeah, I just respected the balls instantly that he was holding up my mic to tune the shitty house kit that I unfortunately bought,
Because that kit was fucking disaster. I fucking sat on the kit. I was like, what is this? You know the meme where the cat is going like, that was me when I got behind the kit. I was like, what in the actual figgity fuck?
Did you know that when the Rolling Stones recorded Sympathy for the Devil, Charlie Watts did that beating on cereal boxes?
No way.
Did you know Slash left Guns N' Roses because of their cover of that? They went against his wishes, re-recorded the guitar, and then he said, fuck off, I'm out of Guns N' Roses, no more Axl.
Is that what happened?
That's literally, it's in his own words in the autobiography.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. But no, go and listen to the recording, Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil. And it's got that, it sounds like congas and kind of rhythm and stuff like that.
Cereal
but just listen. You hear some real congas in there, but then you hear a lot of stuff that's just like thuds. And the rumor is it was just like Quaker Oats boxes and stuff like that to produce that sound.
That's funny.
Back then, recording artists, you had to get creative.
Yeah, you have to be.
We did. I was in a band one time, and we did a cover of Rooster, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have a megaphone or anything like that. And we wanted to have kind of that sound. So we literally took a cereal box and cut the ends off of it. And we put the microphone inside of it. So it kind of gave, there's kind of a sound. And you had to get creative. And that's exactly what they did. They took cereal boxes to play drum parts.
That's so unique.
There was no drum in the room that was going to give them the sound they were looking
during
for.
Aerosmith, I think Walk This Way, he breaks the xylo slap.
Yes.
Yes,
you can hear it. You can hear it break in the recording.
They also used their high school stolen gong or some shit on Living on the Edge. That's like it's not a gong, but it's a drum. I think it's just a kick drum.
Right. Right.
But,
and you can hear it. It's amazing what people have done in the studio. See stuff.
This is gonna sound far fetched, but you're talking about the noises they use to create the sound as a producer, right? That's I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff, and that actually gave me something to think about as a producer in the future when the budget's there. But as crazy as it sounds, I think what? Screw that. You mentioned you're a musician too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Did I doze off?
No, I want to know.
No, I think we didn't talk about the boat. Did we?
We haven't gotten to the boat.
We still haven't gotten to the boat. Okay, I thought I actually
we didn't even talk about the boat stuff.
No, I actually think I dozed
oh my
off.
Gosh.
ADHD.
Well then,
musicians all do.
So basically, back to the boat story. I'll finish it.
Now, nobody say another thing because it's like waving something shiny.
I swear to God. So basically, we were filming a YouTube video for my YouTube channel, Lunatic Dad, and basically, we were having a film shooting him, basically talking about Half-Life Crisis, enjoying the nature around Wilmington, because that's where we were, and it was a beautiful sight to see, a beautiful nature. But so Wes decides to park horizontally like an asshat, like this. He parks diagonally to where half his car is on another dude's property, half of it's on the street. So this guy's like, what the hell am I going to do? So then he just goes, oh, I'm going to call the cops. So he calls the cops. Bring. Cops come. But not right away. You would think they would come right away, right? No, they came fucking 30 minutes later. So what if something were to actually go down? Like, what if somebody were to have a knife or, a gun or, somebody was losing their shit, but none of that thankfully happened. But basically,
you didn't call 911 though.
No, I didn't call 911.
Yeah. It was if 911 wasn't called. It was just kind of like the non-emergency number.
Probably.
Well, I mean, the police showed up, so technically 911 came, but yeah.
They treated it like, okay, there's some
domestic
drunk asshole or something like that. We'll get there. Give them time to pass out, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And then yeah.
So, but they were actually more concerned about my camera because they saw the sling that I had a sling on my camera and they thought it was a gun. So that's what they were really calling the cops on. Yeah. So I was like, really? You called the cops? And he's like, yeah, the cops are coming. I'm like, no shit, like for real? And he's like, yeah, they're coming. I'm like, oh,
I was
because I
understood.
I can't get in trouble. I already got in trouble with the law. I'm technically on court supervision, so I was not supposed to be in trouble with the law at all. So I'm just like, oh man, here we fucking go.
Yeah,
I've been trying to be a good boy.
So I have to ask, where's the boat?
Well, Wes can finish that part of the story.
Right. We still don't have a boat.
So no boat. I literally, anyways, the boat. So what happened was we just started shooting the shit with this guy, ended up becoming friends, smoked some weed with him, exchanged numbers. And then I had mentioned that there was a boat launch in the area that we discovered, and he said, I'll give you a boat. And as of today, he was repairing it yesterday. He gave me a fucking canoe, and I just thought, why not go take some photos in it with the guitar? Because why not? I don't know.
Why not?
Cool. He literally said he was going to just fix it for us just to give it to him.
Scared the shit out of him, dude.
Wow. So you have this canoe now.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I don't know what. It's terrifying.
He said he was going to offer me a ride on it. So,
dude, we went like 10 feet out on the water, not even, and like almost flipped it because of the weight distribution.
No way.
The first thing BC asked, like, how are your sea legs? I'm like, I think they're okay. And then we took on water. But yeah, we didn't. We got what we needed. So it was efficient.
Wow.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, canoes aren't the most stable things.
Yeah,
right.
I'm fine.
So, and do not stand up.
Right. So we jumped away from there. You have aspirations to be a producer.
Yeah.
So, what's I mean, we just kind of briefly talked about do whatever you got to do to get the right kind of sound. What's your philosophy when it comes to that? I mean, are you looking to set up a digital studio? Are you looking to do analog combination? What's your interest there?
I mean, all right, so here's my approach. I do not engineer. I can make a half-ass garage band demo. I pay somebody to make it sound good because I suck, right? Sure. But I could tell the engineer, like, this is the vision. For example, if he were to bring me a song for his band, right? And like, I would just give it a listen, and then I would look for nuances I could add, like, for example, radio chatter at the beginning, the drumming techniques you were talking about with them, adding a subtle track of guitar that he wouldn't have noticed. Maybe the bass could be slightly different. Oh, I'm having trouble trying to figure out what to do. Well, why don't you do this and that? And then, like, your solution, well, really, I would just encourage them not to overthink, because that's what I found is overthinking is death. You know, with music, you know this too, probably. You know, I still deal with it sometimes, but I
mean, but that would qualify you as a producer. Right. I mean, that's what a producer does. The producer is the guy standing behind the engineer with his hands on his shoulders, telling him what he's doing wrong. I mean,
absolutely,
it's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
This is probably far fetched, but I think Rick James is the best producer of all time.
That's not far fetched.
Have you ever heard the album Love Gun?
Oh yeah,
or Fire It Up? I'm sorry.
No, I haven't heard Fire It Up.
That was the first album where he said, I don't need a fucking industry or a record label producer. He went on his own, and each song, the contrast is just brilliant on each of them. The nuance is like he orchestrated the female singing. Then there's drums like kettle drums or something, just drums that you don't hear on typical things. But that was his mind, adding that drum track on top of the drum track that was already there.
Right.
Adding the crazy bass line that he did. He probably played the guitar. The dude.
Oh, no, he definitely did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, more needs to be learned about him, because how did he get famous?
People say Rick Rubin. It should be Rick James.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin's never impressed me. Like, oh, as an artist, I wouldn't have thought of that. No, never. Rick James all time.
Rick James made himself famous by doing this poppy, danceable, disco kind of stuff, Super Freak. And he had a couple of other songs like that and everything. But his musical talent and his knowledge and his know-how and everything that he did extends way beyond that. Like, it shocks people to find out that at one point in time, Rick James was in the same band with Neil Young.
The Minor Birds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know why that band broke up? Because he went to jail for draft dodging because he wanted to tour the United States. And what happened was he served his sentence. Well, by that time, Neil Young was already in Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And it just wasn't feasible anymore when he got released,
Right. But no, his knowledge of music is great. I mean, it's not shocking that you would say that he's a good producer, because he really is. Yeah. I mean, and what was his second biggest hit? I bet you don't know. What was his second biggest hit? What was the second biggest thing? I'm pretty sure it's the second biggest thing he ever did.
I'm going to probably know it when you tell me.
Yeah.
Same.
He produced that record that Eddie Murphy recorded.
I have a copy of that.
Party All the Time.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
They got locked in the studio, man, in a blizzard. And like, basically he helped Eddie Murphy find his singing voice because he was interested in singing. Turns out he had a great fucking singing voice if you have it.
That actually started off even better than that one, because I saw the interview with Eddie Murphy. So here's something that nobody knows. You can go on YouTube. You can find this. Richard Pryor, before he became a stand-up comic, was a singer. And Richard Pryor can sing his ass off. You'll find old black and white movies, old black and white videos of Richard Pryor singing with no mustache, the whole bit, wearing a tuxedo, and he can sing. He had a voice like an angel.
Wow.
And so, Eddie Murphy becomes friends with Richard Pryor, right? And one thing leads to another, where Richard Pryor said something like, yeah, but you can't sing. And he's like, oh yeah, want to make a bet? And they actually made a bet.
And they made the bet.
And so Eddie Murphy gets Rick James to produce the song for it. And it becomes Eddie Murphy ends up with that song was like number one in the chart for like weeks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And aside, all right, so there's two crazy origin stories to that fucking song. When I started Afterlife Crisis, the Motley Crue, the soundtrack the whole time was Party All the Time. My friend David Big Baker was like, I swear to God, all the fucking time that song was on at my house. So then I just put out a song called Welcome to the Shit Show. Was originally going to title my first full-length album that. And then, as I released it as a demo, I just didn't give a shit about the song anymore. But the weird thing is, after I doubled down on the name Welcome to the Shit Show, it was brought to my attention that my friend Randall Ritterhoff, who since left us, he, what was I going to say? He actually had the idea for an album. He wanted me to co-produce called Welcome to the Shit Show. I swear to God, I forgot that until I'm talking to Andrew Masai. If you know the dude who owned Cairo Ale House, that place kicked ass.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
good friend, one of my favorite mentors. He was saying that, like, that was his. And then I was like, holy shit. So the album cover is actually a prison jumpsuit that was given to me by that guy who passed as an homage to him. But he also gave me a copy of Party All the Time on vinyl. So I have it from this guy. So twice in the history of Half-Life Crisis, that song was relevant,
Oh, it's pretty cool.
You can, Rick James actually sings backup on that song too. You can, as you get towards the end of it, you hear Rick James singing backup, and he's got a distinctive voice. So you hear
absolutely,
his voice.
You can hear that Rick James voice.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, interesting. So let's you said you got a couple of originals.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some original music.
All right. The song I'm going to do is called Baby Girl. At one point before my depression destroyed it, was going to feature Steino Rock from Nigeria. It was originally a label contracted thing, an independent label nonetheless, but depression got the best of me and I wasn't able to put the song out how I intended. The version on all streaming is Ricky Barguthi, a friend of mine, my old roommate. He's the vocalist. We wrote the song in like 20 minutes on fake Adderall and non-alcoholic beers.
Fake Adderall. Wow.
It's just bullshit energy pills, man.
Right.
They wanted to be edgy, but it's stronger than like an espresso shot,
Yeah, right.
Let me see. All right, so this is Baby Girl.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Well, I got a 40 and my mama thinks I only had one bill. Thinking about what love is and wishing you were here. I don't know where I go, I just know where I've been. All I know is your love keeps me searching for my soul. Well, I don't want to lose you, but I'm feeling weak inside. Your glow is so, so beautiful, and I'm feeling evil pride. I try to search for ways to show you I just want to love, but I am at a loss for words. I'll pray here in your house. Baby girl, you saved my world. The universe that seems so vast is captured in your eyes. To choose a girl that takes me back is all I need in life. These funerals are not the same while I am so unsure if we could spend together with each other, baby girl. For the solo would be. Well, I'm on my knees and I'm just begging, please, just one more smile. No disease, just like the beast, and hold me for a while. It's startling how pretty you are. You're my shooting star. This part of me won't let you go. Please show me who you are, baby. Baby girl. Baby. You saved my world.
Something like that.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice. I like that rhythm.
I caught myself fucking up more than I'd like to admit there, but that's why I had another singer on the version that's out there.
It's actually like one of my favorite songs by him.
No, that's a very good song, actually. That very well written song.
When I do like when I listen to it on Spotify, like it sounds really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. So how can people find your stuff?
You can type in Half-Life Crisis on any streaming service. That's 3 words. Half, HALFLIFE, Crisis.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a website or anything?
I don't have a website.
Wes, can you say it better into the mic?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, Half-Life Crisis. If you didn't hear, you probably did. I'm just being redundant. But Half-Life Crisis, 3 words, all streaming services. What was I going to say? I'm focusing on getting better content on Facebook at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I am considering TikTok, maybe with his mentorship in YouTube. You know,
Yeah, right.
I might expand into YouTube. I don't know. I mean, everything's on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Don't overlook Facebook. I'll tell you, that's the one conversation that we have a lot. That is still the best social media site for promoting bands, promoting shows, promoting your music. It really is.
Absolutely.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
So
there's too many platforms. I've had Instagram in the past for a previous endeavor when I was an agent.
Right.
You know what? I'm not going to give that handle. I don't want people seeing that shit anymore.
Right.
But
Yeah.
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 I don't know. There's just too many damn ways to be connected, you know, with
Absolutely.
Yeah.
at the same time paradoxically disconnecting because you're focused on your goddamn phone.
Right,
you know?
right,
I'm
right.
addicted,
Exactly.
I admit it, you know,
Get off your phone, people.
Yep.
as he's sending a text every,
Life-
you know, he
yeah.
wasn't really.
Life happens 3 inches above that little shitty screen.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah.
Go, go for a walk, drink some water, go hug a tree, do something.
Go in a canoe.
Go in a canoe.
Go in a canoe.
Go in a canoe.
Yeah. Any plans to take the show on the road or at least play some shows and things like that?
All right. So the plan has been this. I was originally going to do. The plans have all changed. I was going to have an album out called Welcome to the Shit Show, and then I was going to follow that up with Double Dose, and ideally that would be the same length or double the length of the first. And then I was going to do one called Half-Life Crisis,
Right.
and it was going to be the band at that point, see where maybe a 10-song album goes, release them all as singles, waterfall method that people are doing now. And then have a band and just I have a guy that, fortunately pays me well. I haven't been in a band since 2019, but that connection's still there.
Yeah, right.
And you probably know who it is, but it's besides the point. The clue is nobody's ever met the fucker in person, but everybody gets paid from him.
Oh, Joey DeMarco.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we talk about him all the time. I mean,
I tried getting that fucker to dinner recently, and he almost caved too.
I actually met him once.
Yeah,
I met him once at what do they call the place now over in Lisle?
What the fuck's he look like?
Base Camp.
Oh,
okay.
I'm banned from
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I almost died there too.
Yeah, I met. Oh, yeah, wow. No, I met him, and at the time, I don't know if they're still partners anymore, but at the time, he had a partner by the name of Barry Mannheim, and I met both of them in one night. I was in a band called Forget Hannah, and they showed up this is about 15, 16 years ago, and I did meet them. Yeah, he looks exactly like you think he would. Italian, looking kind of guy. Yeah.
Hey, are you still in a band?
Oh yeah, many.
Are you in a band as well?
bands.
No.
Let me know about your next show.
Sure.
Like
we'll talk about me off the air.
I support them. I just want you to know that I want to see your show.
We'll talk about me off the program. That's perfect.
That's all we ever do is talk about him off the program.
I've learned that I talk about myself too much. I'm trying not to.
That's
that's why you're here.
That's one thing. That's one thing.
This is the one time it's acceptable.
Yes, it's extremely acceptable, and you've done extremely well. It's been a very good podcast. We got a lot of time here. What I think we should do, I think we're at the point right now where we just have you have us. We have you sing us out, man. You got one more to close out the show.
Why not? I mean, all this shit I talked about Motley Crue, I'm gonna do a shorter version than they do of "Don't Go Away, Man."
Go ahead, man.
Do it.
Alrighty.
And I got the right pick too, Motley too.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down and click on radio station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
And for one more time tonight, we have Wes as the Half-Life Crisis Project.
We could sail away or catch a freight train or rocket ship into outer space. Nothing left to do. Too many things were said to ever make it feel like yesterday did. Seasons may change, separate paths, separate ways. If we blame it on anything, let's just blame it on the rain. I knew it all along. I had to write this song. Too young to fall in love. Yes, we knew it all along. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. We were marching through some youth, smiling through some pain. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. Let's turn the page. My friends called today down from LA. They were shooting pool all night and sleeping half of their day. They said I could crash if I could find my own way. And I told them you're on a bus leaving town to go away. And that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. We were walking through some youth, smiling through pain. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. Held our dreams in our hands, let our minds run away. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. And remember what I say, girl, and it goes this way. Yeah, girl, don't go away, man. Girl, just go away. Girl, don't go away, man. Girl, just go away. Girl, don't go away, man. Girl, just go away.
Or something like that.
Very nice.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for the opportunity, gentlemen.
Absolutely. We'll see you out there.
Well, there you have it. Half-Life Crisis featuring Wes.
Yeah, Wes. He's Half-Life Crisis.
He is.
Yeah. And it's very interesting that it seems like he aspires to be a producer more than he himself wants to be a musician. Although,
exactly.
I mean, he wrote a pretty good original song.
Right.
You know, and that's something that you need. Sometimes you need a guy that can write the song, and your band goes in there, and then this guy tells you how to record it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a talent for that.
Yeah, he knows what he wants to hear, and he's going to tell you how he wants to hear it.
Yeah, kind of interesting stories too. I bet you there's way more stories with these.
Oh, I'm sure.
Near brushes with fame.
I'm sure we only give them so much time. You know, we could some of these people we talk to, we could probably talk for hours.
Right.
You know,
we sure could.
But yeah, he seems to have it all together. He's going places.
Right.
So,
he sure is.
And that's a good thing.
In a boat.
Yep. In a canoe. That's right.
Might take him a while to get there, but
it might. But as always, thanks for listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast, and check us out every Tuesday for another exciting new episode. See you next week.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and Roll Chicago. Rock and Roll